afternoon. My name is John Pavasic, Executive Director of the Commission, and I will be serving as moderator for today's Commission meeting. This is the scheduled May 20th, 2020 meeting of the Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning and Policy Commission. We have present with us, I'm just going to do a brief roll call. I believe we have our chairwoman, Carrie, Meek, Gallagher. Are you present?
I am present via Zoom.
Thank you. From Suffolk County, who do we have?
Janet Longo, via phone.
Thank you. From town of Brookhaven, who do we have?
Emily Pines.
Thank you. Town of Riverhead.
Dan McCormick.
Thank you. And town of Southampton.
Hi, Marty Shea by phone. Jay is going to be with us shortly.
All right, thank you. All right, so for the record, a quorum is present. The notice of the meeting followed the New York State Open Meetings Law as amended by the Governor's Executive Order 202.1, allowing meetings to take place telephonically or through similar services. Before beginning the meeting, I would like to review a few meeting guidelines. In regard to public participation, please note that members of the general public who are participating in this meeting are able to listen to and view the meeting, but their microphones are muted and their video feeds are disabled for the entirety of the meeting. The public was provided the opportunity to submit comments both prior to and during the meeting. Public comments received by 12 noon today via email or regular mail will be read aloud by me during the first public comments section of the meeting. The public may also submit comments during the meeting via info@pb.state.ny.us. These will be read during the second and last public comments section near the end of the meeting. In order to be recited during this last public comment section, all public comments must be received by the start of the reading of public comments. Now, in regard to the commission members themselves, we have just to ask you to just observe a particular voting protocol. So any voting by commission members on any actions and resolutions will be done by roll call. All commission members are asked to clearly state their name when making a motion and clearly state their vote when their name is called. I ask all commission members to please consider muting your microphone when not providing comment in order to help ensure that commission members who are speaking are able to be clearly heard and to prevent inadvertent disruptions. In regard to recording and meeting minutes, the meeting is being recorded in the Zoom application and will be posted on the Commission's website for viewing and listening to after the meeting. Meeting minutes will also be prepared, as is our standard practice.
Could you please ask him to
we have a 376 phone number ending in 376.
That's me, Janice Shearer. Hi, John.
Hello. Who is?
Hi, this is Janice Shearer. I'm trying to get on through the computer, but I'm having trouble with the password.
Okay, Janice, you're the 376 number?
Yeah, 1376, yep.
Okay. And then a number ending in 119. Who is that person, please? 119? Okay. We're ready to... Okay.
I'm sorry, what meeting is this?
Okay. Just one more time, the phone number ending in 119, can you please identify yourself?
Dorian Dale. I'm trying to figure out whether you could identify yourself. I don't know what meeting this is.
Dorian, this is the commission meeting. Central Pine Barrens Commission meeting.
Well, the Zoom connection you guys provided was unavailing. So I don't know what the deal is there.
Okay.
And then
I'm also having trouble. I don't understand it's asking me for a password that I'm putting in the meeting password, but I don't have it's not going through.
I am having, this is Romaine. I am having trouble with Zoom, and I had a Zoom call yesterday, today, no problem, except for the numbers that you've given me, it does not work.
And this is Marty. I'm having same problem. That's why I'm on the phone.
Yeah, well, we can hear everyone on the phone. You have the email from Julie, right, where if you need to, you can download the commission meeting materials. So I think that we should be able to follow along as long as everyone is available, can hear everyone speaking. So again, as per Don's directions, just when you're not the person speaking, put your phone on mute so that so we don't get background noise.
And it's John Malazzo. This meeting complies with the executive order, whether it's Zoom capable or not. You have all of the participants. You have a quorum. They're available on a call, so I think you can proceed accordingly.
All right, I think we've all the commission members who are participating either via Zoom or phone have now been let into the meeting. So, Chairwoman Gallagher, the meeting is yours, please.
Okay, well, so I'll start over. Welcome, everyone, to our first official Central Pine Barrens Commission meeting via Zoom and telephone. John, do we have any public comments that have been received that need to be read out at this time?
No, we have not received any public comments. I'll accept prior to the meeting, via email, general email, we received a May 18th letter from the Southampton Water Protection Alliance. We have distributed that to all the commission members. The letter is signed by Dick Amper of the Long Island Pine Barrens Society, Bob DeLuca for the group for the East End, Ron Cass from Clean, Bill Kearns from an East Quad resident, and Andrea Stilka of the Southampton Town Civic Coalition. And I can read the letter at this point in time so that the public understands what the commission has received. It says, Dear Chairperson Gallagher, first we want to thank you for all of your hard work during this unprecedented pandemic. We know that these past couple months have been challenging to say the least, and we appreciate all that you and your colleagues have done to keep New Yorkers safe. We also know that there is a lot of work ahead of us all and that we are not out of the woods yet. As municipalities begin to grapple with how to move forward and get back to work, we too wonder how new protocols will impact the work that we do. This is especially true in regards to the review of the Lewis Road PRD project. We understand that the Central Pine Barrens Commission will begin to transition over to virtual meetings beginning this month. While we don't see a problem with this as a means for the Commission to complete basic administrative tasks, we do not agree with holding what would have otherwise been in-person public hearings via Zoom. As you know, this project is the largest to ever come before the Commission. The decision on this project will likely set a precedent that will last for years to come. We worry greatly about the communication barriers that Zoom creates. The public was promised another chance to be heard and to respond to the developers. A virtual public hearing cannot replace an in-person hearing. We anticipate that many of our members who had shared an interest in participating in the next hearing will not be able to maneuver the technology that is tied to Zoom or similar. We know from experience that even if clear written instructions are provided, the more steps involved, the fewer the people that will be able to participate. Creating a Zoom account, registering for the meeting with the Commission, and submitting comments via email is far more complicated than showing up to Town Hall at a certain time. In addition, at the last public hearing on February 19th, the applicant was told to submit their response by March 4th, at which time they would be made available ahead of the next public hearing originally scheduled for March 18th. Please see pages 212 to 213 in the hearing transcript for confirmation. This would have given the public 14 days to review the applicant's response to comments that were made by both the commission and the public. The applicant has agreed to push the decision deadline during the pandemic, but has also requested to push the deadline to submit their response papers. As we approach the next public hearing, we are requesting that the applicant submit the response papers for public review at least 2 weeks prior to the next hearing. Many of their counterpoints will be in response to the numerous legal arguments that we presented. As originally planned, we must be able to review their arguments in order to be able to present our case at the next hearing. As the state begins to open up again, there may be in-person public hearing protocols that may work, such as offering public hearing sessions that would allow people to stagger their appearances. We are very open to innovative strategies that maximize public opportunities for direct communication with the Commission while protecting public health. While we understand the Commission's and the applicant's desire to move ahead in the process, the magnitude and potential impact of this project warrants a thorough and fair review. We hope you will take our suggestions into consideration. Sincerely, Dick Amper, Bob DeLuca, Ron Cass, Bill Kearns, and Andrea Spilker. So that is all the public comments we received. We received no other email comments or mailings at this time.
Okay, so on to the minutes from our February 19th, 2020 meeting for approval. Is there a motion? Or, are there any comments or questions about the minutes?
Ed Romaine, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Excellent. Is there a second?
Dorian Dale, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Any abstentions?
We just need the folks to identify the votes because we have multiple folks representing each entity. I'm sorry, folks.
Oh, right, so you probably need to should we do roll call then, John? I don't know.
Roll call on the vote. We have the motion from Supervisor Romaine and the second from Mr. Dale. We just need a roll call on the vote.
Okay, why don't you actually do a roll call? I think that'll be easier, otherwise everyone might try to start speaking again at the same time.
All right, for the Governor of the State of New York,
In favor.
Harry Meek Gallagher, in favor.
John, can we just say, is it unanimous?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's good. Unanimous. Great.
Yes.
Good idea, John. On to agenda item number 2, Education and Outreach, EPA Citizen Science Equipment Loan Program Award.
Okay, there is materials have been distributed to the Commission. This is a loan for calendar year 2020 of equipment, including, this is water quality monitoring and testing equipment, including a YSI water quality meter, turbidity tube, and a microplastics straw. This equipment is valued at in the low 1,000s and would be provided to the Commission for use in its Day in the Life programs, primarily for the Carmens River and Peconic Estuary, and would be utilized this year with the program starting up this fall. And so we have a draft resolution that's been presented for the Commission's consideration to approve this loan of equipment. Accept this.
Yep. Do we have a motion?
Motion by Ed Romaine.
Second?
Second, Town of Riverhead.
Excellent. Is do I even need to do all in favor, opposed, abstentions? I guess,
If you could just say, is it unanimous?
Yeah, is it unanimous?
Yes.
Yes, great. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Carrie.
Yep. Thank you. All right, on to agenda item number 3, land use, planning and land use, 3A. This going under the core preservation area. So we have the 711 Ridge Core Preservation Area Hardship Application. And we have a decision due, huh, Julie?
Yes, this was, good afternoon. I heard there's an echo for some people. We apologize for that. I'm not sure if you're having trouble, but yes, this item is on for a decision, but on May 14th, the commission received a letter from the applicant requesting to withdraw the application. So there's a letter to that effect and a vote needed to accept the withdrawal.
I make a motion to accept the withdrawal. Ed Romaine.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Suffolk County, second.
Great. Is it unanimous?
Yes.
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 Good. Okay. On to item 3B. It looks like this is also to extend a decision deadline, Julie, on Kogel Brothers core hardship application.
Yes, that's correct. We just need a vote to extend that to November 30th, 2020.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to extend to November 20th. November, what was the date for November?
30th?
November 30th of 2020.
Great.
Thank
Is there a
you.
second? Is there a
Suffolk County, second.
Great. Unanimous approval?
Yes.
Okay. Great. On to 3C, Army Corps of Engineers request for determination of jurisdiction. This is kind of an interesting one. Julie, you want to give a little background? We have a draft response to approve, right?
Yes, thank you. A draft letter was sent to you for your consideration. This is a proposal in the Corps Preservation Area. It's a request for determination of jurisdiction from the Army Corps of Engineers. The Army Corps has secured funding to hire a contractor for this project, and it's a request for a project that involves a study on 4,297 acres that is in the Corps Preservation Area that is the site of a former military training complex used in the 1940s. The range complex is in the town of Southampton in the area of Speonk, Eastport, and Westhampton, north and south of Sunrise Highway, State Road 27, and the Dwarf Pine Plains. And the work involves an investigation to determine the nature and extent of any munitions or environmental contaminants that may be present due to past Department of Defense activities in the former bombing range complex. Military use of this range ceased in 1946. And a cleanup was done at that time, but not up to today's standards and requirements. The investigation will involve geophysical surveys and clearing of approximately 60 acres in a dispersed area of vegetation that's less than 2% of the range complex. And the survey would involve creating transects that are about 5 feet wide and 1,000 feet apart, as well as other survey grids spread across the large site area. There would be soil sampling involved that would also may involve the removal of some brush for access. The Army Corps is expected to prepare environmental protection plans that would ensure the protection of natural and cultural resources. And the time frame for this project is estimated at about 2 years, with the work plan to be developed through this year through to June of 2021, and field work would commence next fall in 2021, and they would be preparing a report due by 2022. So the draft response we prepared states the activity is non-development due to the provisions of the Pine Barrens Act related to public improvements undertaken for the health, safety, and welfare of the public, and also due to environmental restoration goals. The commission staff offered comments on the project as it relates to wildfire history in the area, science and stewardship goals, and the land use and credit program items. There are a number of mutual goals that the project could achieve that overlap with the commission's fire management goals. So we are hopeful that the applicant will continue to involve the commission in the review and survey process and implementation of this project. The area covers hundreds of parcels that are under private and public ownership, and the Army Corps has indicated they would need to secure rights of access for entry and over these properties. And some of those properties may be conservation easements that are held by the Pine Barrens Commission. So they will be expected to contact the commission in the future if the activity occurs on the property with easements, and to determine if the work is consistent with the easement provisions. And all the parcels haven't been identified yet, so we'll be waiting for that from the applicant. And so we have the draft letter for your consideration, and we would need a vote to consider authorizing to send that.
I make a motion that we send the letter as drafted by staff.
Thank
Great.
you.
Is there a second?
Suffolk County, second.
Excellent. Is it unanimous?
Yes.
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 Good. All right. On to item 3D, core preservation area, compatible growth area, and critical resource area. Our favorite projects, Lewis Road, planned residential development, assertion of jurisdiction application. All we need to do today is extend the decision deadline to July 15th, correct?
That's right. Yeah, during this period when the Commission's March 18th and April 15th meetings were canceled, the applicant did submit a request for extension during that time, and now the current deadline is proposed for July 15th. The applicant is working on their revising their plans, and when we receive the material, we'll bring it to the Commission to discuss the next steps on this application. And since we haven't received the materials yet, there's no hearing scheduled today, so we don't anticipate having hearing in June 17th. So we'll wait.
So I make a motion to approve the extension for this applicant till July 15th.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a second?
Riverhead, second.
Excellent. Is it unanimous?
Yes.
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 Good. All right, on to item 3E, compatible growth area, the Silver Corporate Park Development of Regional Significance, CGA hardship. So Julie, you're just going to give us a status update?
I'm sorry, yes, there's just one question here. There's a phone number that called in with the last numbers 855. Who is that?
It's Andy Freeling.
Okay, Andy, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Silver Corporate Park, this is an item scheduled for a decision at your next meeting on June 17th. And the seeker is complete at the town level, and that was done back in January of this year. And this is just to remind you of the decision deadline. This site is in the compatible growth area. It's on the north service road of the Long Island Expressway, west of Sills Road and Yaphank. It's a 12-lot commercial industrial subdivision on 71 acres. It's a development of regional significance since it proposes to build 550,000 square feet of commercial industrial uses. And a hardship was requested to disturb approximately 18,000 square feet of steep slopes. The applicant submitted a slope analysis with all of the slope data that was requested that was on April 9th, 2020. And again, this is just on to remind you that a decision is due at the next meeting.
Do we have staff recommendations on that?
Yes, the recommendation is to, I'm sorry, so this is Silver Corporate Park. So the only action today was just the update, and then we'll have, at the next meeting, there'll be a resolution prepared for consideration.
And we'll have the recommendations at that time.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you so much.
Right. So we just need, we don't need to.
There's no action.
There's no action.
I'm sorry.
No action.
The status update.
Right.
Okay, just to be sure.
Right.
All right, on to item 3F, the Meadows at Yaphank, PDD, CGA, DRS. It's a lot of acronyms out there.
Okay.
A lot of alphabet soup.
Yeah.
There's a draft resolution in your package to authorize the release of covenants that were recorded when this project known as Brookhaven Walk was approved on this site in 2007, approved by the Commission. So the Brookhaven Walk project was never built. It's now the site of the Meadows at Yaphank, which is a different project. And the applicant needs to clean up their title record for financing, and they reached out to the Commission to help in that effort. So since the Brookhaven Walk is no longer valid, the covenants for it are no longer necessary, and there's a draft resolution to this effect and draft covenants to terminate the covenants for Brookhaven Walk.
I'll make a motion to approve the draft resolution. Ed
Thank
Romaine.
you.
Is there a second?
Riverhead second?
Okay. Is it unanimous?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Have we received any public comments during the meeting?
Just checking right now, and no, we have not received any other public comments.
Okay.
Just one question, we have a phone number that ends in 067. Can you please
Yeah,
identify yourself?
Yeah, that's Supervisor Schneiderman.
Hey, Jay.
Hello, Supervisor Schneiderman.
Although I have not been able to get on through the regular Zoom
Zoom.
video conferencing, so I just went for the phone number.
Okay. You and everyone else, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I got on.
You did.
I
You're
did, but
lucky.
I don't have state-issued computers don't have cameras or microphones included with them, hence I also had to call in.
Oh, okay.
But my little picture's up there and I can see everything on the screen.
All right.
Ed, I got on. It's Emily.
Wow. It must be me and 2 or 3 other guys had trouble getting on, but that's okay.
Right, Riverhead's on as well.
It's because of you, Ed.
Yeah.
With
Cool.
Carrie's
This is
help
the first,
and the 2 Johns, this meeting is running very smoothly. So let's continue.
Yes, exactly. We digress. So if we have no public comments, I know that we do need to go into closed advisory session. Is there any reason we need to come back out into a public session, which seems like it would be complicated in this methodology,
No.
right? I mean, John, okay,
No.
excellent. So then, is there a
Okay,
motion?
I'll make a motion
Yep.
to go into executive session, at the end of which we will come out of executive session and conduct no further business. So moved.
Second, stop again.
Yep. Is it unanimous? Great. And is it unanimous?
Yes.
Sure.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. So those of us who are going to participate in the closed advisory session will reconvene in a few minutes on a separate dial-in.